Hello, amazing people. I hope you all had a wonderful week, wonderful couple of weeks. For all 25,000 of my followers, wishful thinking. For all three of you that watch my videos, I appreciate it. Once again, yes, that was sarcasm. I mean, in all fairness, I'm not like really promoting it. But I mean, it's out there. If you resonate with it, share it. Why not? I mean, it's really more about me journaling this adventure and hopefully you all connecting with it, I guess. I mean, the experience that I had for this calling was to just share, and honestly it's helped me in a lot of ways, probably more than it's helped any of you watching these long videos, just to kind of like get out of my head for a moment. So I mean, I do recommend it for anybody else that's interested. I think video journaling is important, especially since we have this type of technology now to be able to share our life experiences with, multiple people, several people, hundreds of people, thousands of people. So, last couple weeks have been pretty adventurous with my work job. I had an investor meeting last week, so I was super tied up. I took my stuff with me to my hotel to do a video, but honestly, we're doing 10, 12-hour days. And by the time I got to my room, I'm like, yeah, and it's like, God's poking at you like, come on, make a video. And it's like, give me a break, and it's like, no breaks. Unfortunately, I was stubborn enough to not make a video. But honestly, my mind was really preoccupied. I don't know how well that video would have came out compared to my other ones, right? Because they're so amazing. But realistically, I wasn't in the right headspace for that. I'm trying to do one video a week while possible. And mostly I use what I learned at church. And not even really what I learned, but what I experienced at church. And I kind of like explain how I understand that message and how I interpreted it. So yeah, there's that. Obviously it's a season of Lent right now, and I have a lot of friends and family that are on a broad spectrum of religion, mostly all Christianity-based, I should say. But nonetheless, Lent is acknowledged across the board. Lent for me, I grew up Catholic, so Lent for me was very cut and dry, I guess. It was black or white. There was really no gray or in between. And I understand the purpose. Growing up, it was like, during Lent, you give something up, to kind of mimic the journey that Jesus had for 40 days and 40 nights. But also to try to connect with Jesus in a deeper sense by removing your vices or a vice out of many, to try to help you reconnect with your faith, reconnect with Jesus. And then everyone celebrates Fat Tuesday. They act wild and crazy, stuff their faces, do crazy stuff, party. It's like, get all the sin in one day so that tomorrow we can be better people. I've never really understood the concept. Well, I do, I guess. It's kind of like before you're going to start a diet, you're like, okay, I'm going to start on Monday. So Sunday you pig out like crazy, right? So, I mean, I guess I get it. It's just humans being imperfect, We have Ash Wednesday comes up. We all get smudged on our forehead and then, fast forward, you have Good Friday, you have Easter, all the good stuff. And I mean, we know the story, this journey and how it relates to Jesus. But what I really want to focus on in this video is the purpose behind giving something up. Not necessarily the purpose, but kind of me questioning why give something up. And I understand that we do that to mimic or as a sign of respect to what Jesus accomplished during the 40 days and him going without food and water and everything. But we are not him, and to hold ourselves to his standards for 40 days is an impossible feat. And I know many people are like, well, I did this for 40 days and I did that for 40 days. You also didn't endure the things that Jesus had to endure. We all suffer in life, and we all have our ups and downs, and we all have, negative things that happen or come up in our life, but nothing compares to what he did for us. If it was in reverse and any one of us had an opportunity to switch places, would you? But at the same time, would you do it knowing that once it was over, you were going to be back in heaven with God and reunited? So you can tell yourself, oh, this is just a short period of suffering, but then I'm gonna be back in heaven. You can tell yourself that. But even now, that's kind of what we already experience in a sense, right? Like, we know that connecting with our faith and our spiritual journey and repenting and acknowledging our sins and trying to be better people, that we also look to pass on and go to heaven. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of in between information, but realistically what I look towards is what can I take away from myself, but what can I give? What more can I do? How can I support everything? How can I support this process? How can I support God and myself? How can I share the message more so now in these 40 days? I look at it that way. Everyone's focused, what are you going to give up? What are you going to give up? What are you going to give up? Sometimes it's the same thing that you gave up the year before that. Social media could be, junk food, soda, maybe TV, something that you're addicted to, or something that pulls you away from honoring God. I mean, and I get it. But it's like we do it for 40 days, and then on the 41st day, we're like, all right, hamburgers and sodas, or, oh, let me catch up on my shows. And it's like, what did we really do to create new habits in that time frame so that we aren't addicted to these things, or that we don't feel the need to use them to calm ourselves when we should be looking to God for that? No, I'm not here to shame nobody. I mean, I'm the last person you're going to take, advice from, when it comes to that stuff. But, these are the things that go along in my head, I think about these things, and I wonder, and I'm curious, and I'm just trying to understand how and why and what and everything, and everything, We're all trying to find our purpose in life and trying to figure out where we belong sometimes. We get tied up with work, with finances and family and everything that's going on in the world. You know, there's a lot that happens, and it's really difficult to like paste it all together and create something out of it. It's difficult. You know, even though the people who claim to have it all together, I mean, I hope you do. I really do. But maybe you don't, and that's okay. You know, it is. It's okay. It's okay for all of us. You know, today at church, you know, they have the series going on for Lent, and the pastor was talking about lots of different things, but one of the things that really stuck out to me was just, you know, understanding that we are imperfect beings and that we will never be like Jesus. But understanding that through that imperfection, we can pursue good and acknowledge that by putting our pride aside, and putting our ego aside. And I mean, it's easier said than done, for sure, because we have these habits socially to be prideful and be egotistical, you know, and not share, you know, our inner selves with many, because we are afraid. And one way that we can walk in a similar path or alongside Jesus is acknowledging that people will ridicule us and people will throw stones, but we have to endure that so that we can continue to walk alongside Jesus. By being true to yourself and sharing who you are as an individual, you are allowing yourself to connect with God on a deeper level, because that is who He intended you to be. And by pretending to be something or someone that you're not, you're completely doing the opposite of what He created you to do and to be. So, I mean, it's just something to think about, you know, when you feel the need to compare yourself or your family or your finances or your situation to somebody else. You know, it's just something to think about. It's just food for thought. It's important to understand that, you know, every day is a new day, and if we start our new day with the problems we had the day before, we'll never really get a true restart. And I get it. You can't always just drop what happened and, you know, start from scratch. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you let it beat you down and keep you in the abyss, you're not going to be able to dig your way out of that, for a while at least. You're in a sense aiding in your capture, you know, and it's not what I want for you. You know, I want you to enjoy your time while you're here. You know, be envious of those who get to pass along and enjoy their new life. But respect knowing that, you know, our path will lead us to the same outcome. But while we're here, it's important to note that, you know, we gotta stick together and connect on what's right. Yes, have differences, but have healthy debate and work towards resolving, you know, issues that make sense, you know, make sense for everyone that's involved. You know, work towards how to share the message as opposed to stripping yourself of what will allow you to provide that message. Vices are terrible: smoking, gum chewing, drinking, all of the above, right? Poor eating habits and all of the above. I mean, stress kills us in more ways than one, and we do not acknowledge that by simply managing that part of our life, we can have a better life. And honestly, it's almost like an epiphany. It just kind of came in my head right now, because that's how I feel in this moment, with work and everything else. Nothing bad. It's just there's a lot that goes on. It's hard to leave work at the door and turn into transition to family time, and it's hard to disconnect from family time and transition back into work time on Monday. So I'll leave it short and sweet this time. It's just kind of a general overview of kind of what I experienced. Again, I don't think we always have to give something up, but maybe we can give something more. If giving up a vice is fine, then that's great for you. But maybe it's reading a few verses a day, or taking notes, or attending church more often, or maybe creating more habits that help you connect on a deeper level with your God, with our God, with our Father. So God bless you all. Take care. I hope you all have a wonderful and productive week, and I look forward to my next video next week. God bless.